Hey there, my name is Alejandro, and welcome back for day 23 of me doing the NeetCode 150 challenge. So today we're doing another math and geometry problem, and let's get straight into it. Okay, today we get problem 66 plus 1. LeetCode easy. You're given a large integer represented as an integer array digits. Okay, where each digit I is the ith digit of the integer. The digits are ordered from most significant to least significant in left to right order. The large integer does not contain any leading zeros. Cool, okay. Increment the large integer by 1 and return the resulting array of digits. Okay, so, okay, sure. Here, 4, 3, 2, okay, sure. 9 becomes 1 and 0. Okay. There's one special case, right, where it's like, okay, if the whole number is 9, we'll have to add a 1 at the front, right, and everything else is 0, right? We could also check that as our base case, right? If all of digit is equal to 9 for digit in digits, return 1 plus 0 times length of digits. Otherwise, we'll say for I in range length of digits minus 1 all the way up to the last one, right? So negative 1, negative 1. If digit is equal to digits of I. If digit is equal to 9, digits of I is equal to 0, continue. Otherwise, digits of I plus or equal to 1 and break. Return digits. So something like this should work first of all, right? Okay, so this gets accepted. Let's submit. Okay, so this works, and okay, and it beats 88%. Very nice. Is there a way to do this better, right? So let's think about it. If all of this, so I want to get rid of this initial O of n parse. So here it's like, okay, digits of I is if digit is equal to 9. Then okay, if I keep doing 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right. If digit is equal to 9. Yeah, so the point is that people are probably going to put an if statement in here or something, and that's going to slow them down, right? Because I just do one check. But yeah, okay, if the digit is equal to 9, right? If I is equal to 0, then we're going to say, hey, we just replaced all the 9s with 0s. In that case, return 1 plus digits. And now we can comment this out. So something like this should still work. Okay, let's submit. Okay, so yeah, this is what I figured. It might make our overall running time complexity slower because again, this is just an if statement check that will check every single time, and now we're in the low milliseconds range. So it actually ends up being faster to just do that. That's actually kind of hilarious. Because this will short circuit. Okay, that's actually kind of super funny. Okay, so okay. So So yeah, the point here, right, is that like if all the digits are 9 and so on, then you want to return like 1 with everything else as zeros. And so it's actually slower to check, like, you know, for every single time if it's 9999999, you know, keep going out that way. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. And the point of something like all, right, is that it will short circuit, right? If it just sees any number that is not 9, then it just ends out and so on. It's like, oh, let's not consider that case anymore, right? And then for the rest, it's like, I don't have to make that check because, again, I know that the whole number is not 99999, which is when I would need extra memory, right? Okay, so that's kind of nice and simple. So, okay, as always, in all of my videos, I do a quick recap of how I was able to solve the problem. So for this one, essentially, we just want to increment the number y1, right? And so the idea is very simple, which is like, we're going to start from the very end of the digit, right? And if the number is less than 9, then we know that we can just increment the number. So like, for example, here, 1, 2, 3, we just bring it down over to 1, 2, 4, right? We just plus 1 on the very last digit, and that's it. But of course, the special case is when the last digit is 9, right? And so it's like, if you remember your addition from when we were like, I don't know, what is it, first grade, second grade, third grade, kindergarten, and so on. It's like, you know, you add 1 to the 9, then that 9 becomes a 0, the 1 carries on over to the second one, and so on, blah, blah, blah. So the point is like here, I'm indexing through the digit array backwards, right? From the end all the way up to the beginning, right? And so here, essentially it's like, yeah, for digit is equal to digits of I. If digit is equal to 9, right, then I set the digit equal to 0, right? So if I have something like 1, 2, 9, right? I know that this should become 130, right? So the way that this is going to work is I'm going to change this 9 into a 0, right? And essentially the 1 is going to carry on over here, right? And then if this was a 9 as well in here, right, then it's like it will carry on over recursively. Here it's like, okay, my number is a 2, right? It's not equal to a 9, so essentially I'm going to do digits of I plus or equal to 1 and break out the for loop and return digits immediately, right? So in this case, it's like, oh, it's not a 9, so this I'm just going to change it to a 3, right? No more carryover, and return this directly, right? But the point is, like, let's say this was also a 9, right? So we had 199. Then we know the next number after 199 is 200, right? So let's see how this happens. Oh, we see a 9, so let's make this a 0 and have a 1 carry on over here. Then it's like, okay, we see another 9, so we'll make this a 0 and we'll have our 1 carrying on over here. Oh, this is not a 9, this is a number smaller than 9, so we can just add 1 into it. So let's make this a 2, and then we're done with the problem and break immediately and so on, even if there was another number before and so on, right? So that's essentially the algorithm. The very first thing that I do, though, is I first check if all the numbers are 9, right? So if we have something like 999, right? We know that the next number is 1,000, right? The reason why this is tricky is because 1,000 is going to be of length 4, and this is of length 3. So we actually need to append something to an array, and usually with an array, right? You can't append left unless I turn this into a collections.dec, in which case it's like, it's faster to do this than to convert into a pop leftable element and so on, and pop left if I need to, or append left it if I need to, sorry, not pop. But the point is that at the very beginning, I check like, okay, are all the digits 9? If so, then I know that I just need to return the next number after that. So, right, so 999, I take this many zeros and slap a 1 at the front, right? So for example, the next number is 1,000. There are 3 zeros, which is the same number as the 9s, right? And then I just slap a 1 in the front, right? So here I just return an array where the first number is going to be a 1, and then followed by a bunch of zeros, well, however many digits that was in digits originally, right? So in this case, there's 3 digits. So we'd literally just return, 1 plus 0 times 3, right? This is essentially what I return. 0 times 3 is essentially just a 0, but 3 times 0, 0, 0. And then I just concatenate these two arrays together, which leaves me with this, which again represents the 1,000 number, right? So that's essentially how that works. So essentially I have a base case here, which is like, if all the digits are 9, I know that I will need extra memory, so I just handle that case right here. Otherwise, I know that for any smaller number than 99999 all the way up to the length of digits, I will not need any extra memory, right? So I just go from the very end. I essentially just add 1. Well, if the number is 9, then I know that I need to carry on over to the next for loop, so that's why I do the continue here. And otherwise, if it is not 9, I just add 1 to the number and I break out of the for loop, right? We can also do this a little bit cleaner, where it's like, instead of using a continue, right? So if digit is less than 9, digits of I plus or equal to 1, and then break. Otherwise, we're going to do digits of I is equal to 0, carry the 1 over to the next higher significant digit. Significant digit, right? And so here is just digits of I is equal to 0, and I can get rid of this, right? And so like this is the very same algorithm, right? Intuitively. And there we go. So we can also just return this, right? And here we can just do, you know, digits of I. And there we go. So yeah, okay, we're in slowness territory, but we already had a 99% solution, so on. We know that the idea is the exact same and so on. It's just that maybe this makes things a little bit cleaner, but yeah, we had a 97%. So that's essentially all that matters, right? But the point is, again, whenever we have a 9, we set that as a thing to a 0. So okay, maybe this makes the code a bit more confusing, so I'll just return it to how I had it back over here. So where I handle the if digit is equal to 9 case. Right, so if digit is equal to 9, then it's like, okay, we set that to a 0, right? And we continue with the for loop because we're going to go to the next higher significant digit and then like carry the 1 over for that one and so on because again, we want to add 1, right? Otherwise, if we reach any digit at any point that is not a 9, right? Then we just increment 1 to that digit and return out of the number, right? And we know that even when we get to the very end, we've already checked the case where all the numbers are 9. So we know that at least one number will not be 9, in which case we can add 1 to it and so on and break out the for loop as we need, right? And that's pretty much it for the solution. So let's just get rid of this. I'll leave my code like this because I think it's a little bit easier to understand. And so yeah, even though like yeah, I really should just be able to do this, right? And there we go. So I think this makes it just a little bit easier to understand, right? And there you go, 73% B. It's very nice, very clean solution. But that's pretty much it. Again, it's just like add 1 wherever you need to. Not too complicated. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it for this video. As always, let's make sure that we check the box indicating that we solved this problem. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for this video. If you did find it useful or enjoyable, I would highly appreciate if you left a like or a comment. But otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. So until then, ciao, ciao, my friend. Bye-bye.